Sometimes rap can be a truly magical art form, touching on some of the hardest hitting issues of the day, giving a voice to the voiceless, changing the world, starting a revolution, combining sounds like jazz, funk, neo-soul, and experimental hip-hop to produce a once-in-a-lifetime record that will stand the tests of time as one of the greatest albums ever. Today, we will not be talking about that kind of thing. Every genre will have their bad moments, and rap is no exception. Tom MacDonald, Kevin Federline, Lil Xan, that rainbow troll that I haven't seen pop up in a while. Luckily for everybody in the making and watching of this video, we're not talking about them either. This video will be a silly walk down memory lane, looking at hip-hop verses and lines that are so bad they're good. Or so good they're bad. Or maybe just so perplexing that you sit there saying, huh? In the same vein of a top 5 rapper like Jay-Z writing goofy lyrics about zombies, ghouls, and so on and so forth, here are rappers that are mostly not a joke, doing things that make me laugh or recoil in my chair. The song KMT by Drake off of his album, Playlist, More Life, has a surprising amount of lore to it. There was a ton of controversy around Drake supposedly stealing XXXTentacion's flow and rhyming patterns, and PS, here's a plug for my latest video about how artists stealing from one another can be a good thing. And also, the song samples the theme from Sonic 06, which I'm sure made a few Drizzy/Hedgehog fans out there go pretty wild. What I'm much more interested in about this track is the featured verse from the British rapper Giggs. After Drake's verse, this intense instrumental keeps pulsating, you feel like you're about to hear something iconic, but what happens is this. With one of the most blatant templates of setup punchline that would even make late 2000s Lil Wayne quiver, Giggs rhymes surdy with 30, with curvy, with perky, with turkey, with churchy, with jerky, and finally with Cersei. During this Galaxy Brain section of the song, we have lines like, "And you already know I love them breasts," which I can't fault him on, he makes a good point there. And maybe I'm stupid, but with fingers all itchin', twitchin', looking all jerky, does he mean that his fingers look like beef jerky? Why would he say that? Whipping that white girl, yeah, cooking that Cersei is great because I honestly love the trope of that one drug being referred to as white women, like Hannah Montana and Christina Aguilera. And maybe it's because I'm American and I'm not as attached to British lingo, but it's hard to take him seriously talking about murder when he just called somebody an a few lines ago. Finally, the cherry on top of a truly funny verse, ending the song by saying, "Batman, da-da-da-da-da." A+. Growing up, one of my absolute favorite songs was Jay-Z's "Girls, Girls, Girls" off of The Blueprint, and once I start reading these lyrics, just remember that this person was obsessed with that song. The second single off of a fantastic rap album produced by an all-time great, featuring additional vocals from Q-Tip, Slick Rick, and Michael Jackson of all people, released shortly after 9/11, and the track is this uncomfortable Comedy Central roast where Hove is just cycling through every stereotype imaginable. Spanish chica uses homophobic slurs and cooks rice. Black chick talking out of her neck or like being too loud, emotional, and having no filter, plus snapping her fingers. French chick wears braids like some actress or something. This one isn't too bad, I guess, but then it gets really bad. I got this Indian, insert derogatory term for a woman, asked her what tribe she with, red dot or feather. Yikes. And then we get the infamous rhyme of, "All you need to know is I'm not a hoe." Get it? And to get with me, you better be Chief Lots of Dough. Let's just sit with that for a second. Alright, we end that verse talking about all the foods that those cultures make. The second verse isn't as insane, except the line about his young chick that throws tantrums on the floor. That's a little suspicious, to say the least. And then verse 3 has some stuff that's cute and fun, and then other stuff that isn't as cute, like the Chinese bootlegger or the African chick that talks like a caveman. People like to do the whole, oh, you could never make this movie in today's day and age. And when it comes to a song like Girls, 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 I don't exactly see the problem with that. It's like wannabe, edgy middle school student that watched his first episode of South Park type humor, and it's far beneath one of the greatest MCs in history. On his debut album, Long Live ASAP, we see a song called Ghetto Symphony featuring Gunplay and A AP Ferg, with this ethereal yet fierce beat that includes a prominent FROU sample, which is interesting. The first two people that I mentioned deliver strong, no-holds-barred verses. There's that classic hint of drug-induced psychedelia that Rocky's known for, but as a whole, it's a gritty banger. But then, just for the opening lines of his verse, Ferg does this insanely cartoonish voice and cadence that vaguely sounds like an E40 or Danny Brown impression. The lyrics, since Rocky spit like Andre, I'm gon' kill him like Big Boy, are fine, but then, these rappers is on my entree, eat 'em like cookies, Chips Ahoy, is one of my favorite things ever. Listen to how he says cookies. Remember that Shyamalan movie, The Happening, and how everybody was picking clips out of it and saying, why did Mark Wahlberg read that line that way?
What? No.
A AP Ferg saying cookies is something that will stay with me forever. It's like he's auditioning to be the mascot for a breakfast cereal or something. It rocks. In a case of this verse should have been a lot better than it was, we look to an unexpected remix of Mariah Carey's 1999 hit, Thank God I Found You, featuring both R&B mainstay Joe and Nas himself, following the release of his 1999 album I Am, and just before the release of Nostradamus. While this initially sounds like it should be a match made in R&B rap heaven, Nas's verse leaves much to be desired in the best way possible. You taste like banana cake, you shaped like the number 8, and you my number 1 candidate. It feels like the features signed up for two completely different songs, with Joe crooning smoothly in tandem with Mariah, and then Nas stumbling in with some of the most frankly uncomfortable lines and verses possible. Joe evidently has the sensitive player act down much more than Nas, who is saying the exact opposite of what every girl wants to hear. I find it hard to believe that Nas would make it last in this relationship. If allusions to fruit-flavored pastries weren't off-putting enough, he goes even farther. Relax, sweetie, in Benz you could watch the TV, or lay back and pump Mariah's hot CD, and I'ma touch you in the wrong places. The idea of touching someone in the wrong places itself raises a lot of questions that I do not have the answers to. Another strange occurrence is the serious, tough veteran rapper trying their hand at humor, like in the games Martians vs. Goblins, featuring Lil Wayne and Tyler the Creator. This track sees the game attempting some of that signature Tyler absurdity, which just doesn't land quite the same, coming from a big, intimidating dude that wasn't ever really wearing those colorful donut socks. His most famous track is Hate It or Love It, a surprisingly earnest song about all the adversity he faced before success, including outright violence he both experienced and committed. Relevant to this conversation is the fact that in Hate It or Love It, the game boasts, I'm rap's MVP and I ain't going nowhere so you can get to know me. And then he immediately disappeared from the scene. Tyler uses his feature to throw in playful jabs like Wolfgang We Rock, rock, and that was expected, like Jay-Sun whenever he name drop. And it makes you wonder why the game, a man whose ego seems bruised enough, would allow two much more relevant rappers to come on his song and essentially make fun of him for being out of the spotlight. Even more jarring about his verse, which opens with jokes about violent acts being committed against Rihanna and Lil B, is the fact that he caps it with a flurry of mostly unrelated references. I should've got a real-ass pirate to do the hook. Maybe Jack Sparrow, maybe Peter Pan's nemesis. My power's limitless like Blanca on Sega Genesis. Superhero, mad that Marvel overlooked me, cause Spider-Man and Hulk straight p***y? Huh? And all of this comes while the game straight up admits to Lil Wayne having destroyed him on his own song, which makes all of his posturing kind of sad and embarrassing. For the finale of this video, we have a track that really encapsulates everything about this concept of funny, good, bad, good, etc. Bedrock by Young Money, Lil Wayne's label / supergroup, utilizing some of the biggest and brightest talents at the time to come together and write a song full of horny Flintstone references and a baffling shout out to a grocery bag. The song itself has that addicting, almost dinky 2010s bouncing beat with Lloyd stuttering out an instantly memorable chorus of "Ooh, baby, I be stuck to you like glue, baby. Wanna spend it all on you, baby. My room is the G-spot. Call me Mr. Flintstone. I can make your bed rock." The song also features Nicki Minaj likening herself to asbestos, Tyga comparing a girl to lotion, and Drake blessing us with the incredibly creative line, "I love your sushi roll, hotter than wasabi." Also, when it comes to Lil Wayne keeping his girl running back and forth like a soccer team, do we have no respect for the goalkeepers of the world? I have never seen Kepa Arrizabalaga run a day in my life. Or even for an outfield player, did Lil Wayne watch a single New York City FC match during the 2015 season? Andrea Pirlo barely got over a jog, let alone a run. Hashtag, not all people run back and forth like a soccer team on soccer teams. Yet, still by far the most hilarious and memorable thing about this song is the utterly confounding wordplay by Gutta Gutta. She don't even wonder cause she knows she bad, and I got her. Grocery bag. Grocery bag. These are the kinds of lines that you really have to sit with for a moment to absorb the sheer absurdity that this made it into a major song, a hit song, by a major music label, featuring some of the biggest names in music of the 21st century, and I got her. Grocery bag. There's a couple of ways that this could be interpreted. He's alluding to having her like a purchased bag of groceries, which isn't too flattering for him, or he's just saying he bagged her. In this case, he could have at least gone with a more desirable kind of bag. At this point, the Birkin bag was an icon. Instead, the girl that this verse is talking about was being spoken about like the same piece of trash Katy Perry used to describe being at rock bottom. We have many reasons to enjoy music and the conversation surrounding it. Sometimes we want to be awestruck by pieces that truly move us. Sometimes we go online and have fun talking trash about whatever the latest Tom MacDonald song is. But other times, it's nice to just laugh. At Batman Dana-Danas, at played out stereotypes that aged like milk, like cookies, banana cake in the wrong places, getting bullied on your own song, and the Flintstones. Hey, thank you for watching that video. I want to give a quick shout out to at iCaroGabriel17 on Twitter for making my intro animation. If you want to support the channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. You can follow me on social media at RunShotHS. You can buy my merch, support my Patreon, and thank you again. I'll see you soon.